Okay, so originally I was just going to give my thoughts on one pairing from Total Drama, but then I thought I got several favorite shippings from this franchise, and I can probably find something to talk about with everyone, so I will be doing just that. Two things first, a lot of these won't be canon couples, they will be fanon couples. Second, this is all my opinion. If you have another opinion, that's totally fine. This is just, my personal favorite shippings from Total Drama. So let's start with the pairing that inspired me to do this video. Noah and Dawn, aka Non. Okay, I got interested in this pairing by a writer known as Light of Dawn. Yeah, if this was an actual ship, she would most definitely be the captain. But seriously, I think this pairing works because even if these two are very different, they also have a lot in common. They are both very intelligent, insightful, and they both like doing nothing. And what I mean by that is that they both like relaxing activities. Noah likes to read books and slack off, and Dawn likes to meditate. There's actually one fanfic I read by Light of Dawn where it was just Noah and Dawn sitting in the same room, reading and meditating and saying absolutely nothing. And I was like, this is freaking awesome! It is that uncomfortable silence that Uma Thurman talked about in Pulp Fiction. Now, I can see Noah being somewhat annoyed with Dawn at first and just have a field day making up nicknames for her, like Dalai Lama, Luna, Moon Baby. But I think in the end Dawn would be good for Noah, because Noah is not the most emotional of people, but since Dawn can read his aura, she would probably understand him better than most people. Another thing I found interesting whenever I read this pairing is their differences in religion. Dawn is a Wiccan. She believes in karma and reincarnation and that sort of stuff. And Noah, well, we don't really know what Noah is, but I take him for an atheist. And I don't want to stereotype anyone. I know that not every atheist is a cynic. I am an atheist myself, so I don't insult anyone. But Noah don't strike me as a person that would be attracted to religion. So that's why I take him for an atheist. So you can get some very interesting dialogue from that. So next is Gwen and Courtney, aka Courtney. Yeah, a girl on girl pairing. Now, at first I was a very big fan of Dunkney because they had so good chemistry, but then in season 3 Duncan became like the biggest douchebag on the planet, so I jumped over to this ship instead. Now, Courtney is not necessarily the most likable of people, but I do find her interesting, and Gwen is very similar to Duncan, just that she is an actually good person. I also think this ship has some firepower, because the only reason Gwen returned for season 5 was to make up with Courtney. And that is a lot of effort for just a friend, if you know what I mean. Plus, both of these girls are very mature for their age, so I think they would be able to handle a serious relationship. Next are Beth and Ezekiel. And I'm not talking about feral Ezekiel, I'm talking about regular homeschool Ezekiel. I like this pairing because they are sort of drawn by the same pencil. They both come from very antisocial backgrounds and are not quite known to social norms. The only problem is that there aren't that many stories with these two. I have read a few that is pretty good, and I am currently writing a one-shot with these two. But hopefully we get more in the future. Maybe we can get some fan art, that would be cool. Izzy and Owen. Oh my god, I just love these two. And it's more about the humor than the romance, but I can't help it, they are just freaking hilarious. Okay, first time making out. Owen says, "Oh no, the serial killer always attacks the couple making out in the woods." And Izzy responds, "But we are not making out." "Oh, alright." you wanna make out? And Owen is like, yes! And he just jumps him, and since then the relationship has been a roller coaster of fun. Like, they are just so freaking fun. Like when Owen dresses up like a monster and is just like, he's so hot! Okay, let's take one more canon couple, so we are done with those. Mike and Zoe. Now, love at first sight is a cliche I have always despised, but the difference between Mike's and Zoe's relationship and that of some Disney couples, for example, is that they actually work on their relationship in order to make it work. Zoe is a very shy girl, and Mike has multiple personality disorder, and he can't keep his other personalities in check. So they both have to get over their weaknesses just to be together. So the relationship really has helped their character arcs a lot. Also, I think Zoe is such an admirable girlfriend. Not only does she stick by her boyfriend that has a mental condition, but she's always there for him, and whenever another one of his personalities takes over, she either snaps him out of it or she ignores him as to not boost his condition. Okay, I spared my favorite shipping for last. Are you ready, folks? It's Cody and Heather, or Coder. So why do I love this pairing so much? Because it's so fucking adorable. They are basically each other's opposite. Heather is a very harsh and malicious person, and Cody, despite his flaws, really is the sweetest guy you could ever meet. And it's just pure magic whenever these two are together, cause Cody manages to get to Heather's more sensitive side, and more importantly, he gives Heather someone to talk to about her problems. It has become quite a popular pairing, and it's treated with a lot of respect from the fandom. I love reading about this couple, I love to write about this couple, and it's probably among my top 5 or at least my top 10 favorite cartoon pairings of all time. But now I want to hear from you guys. What are some of your favorite shippings? It doesn't have to be Total Drama Island, it can be from any cartoon or anything. Comment below, let me know, and I see you next time.